So what is our application going to be exactly? Well, assume this silly scenario. A client approaches you and says that they want a desktop application that is going to allow them to log into three social networking websites: Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. They don't want to use the web browser because they don't know how, and despite you trying to reason with them, you take the job. Now, here's a couple of notes about this application before we proceed with the design. First, the way I always start designing my application, even knowing that I will style it with the CSS later, is by creating a basic UI, using the basic or native look and feel, and then style the application when you're done with that part. Just so that in the end we know what button is where and where all the Q widgets are in respect to the screen and the application itself. And that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video too. And secondly, this application is actually going to be hosted by QDialog, not QMain window, as we don't really need all the fancy capabilities of QMain window. Now, if you watched part 1 of this course, you know that before you start working on your application, you should always have a mock-up of what it's going to look like. That's right, you should, and I do have a mock-up right here. I can just hope that the real application will be better looking than this mock-up. But anyway, the way I envision this application is having a kind of our own implementation of the Q toolbar, or just a toolbar here at the top where it says button, button, button. And in this toolbar, these three buttons will actually be the Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Now, only one of these buttons will be active or selected at a time, depending on what website the user wants to log into. If you need a kind of a reference of what this is going to look like eventually, take a look at the settings dialog for Mozilla Firefox. Below, in this kind of a main part of the dialog, we'll just have two QLine edits that will be username and password. And below those, we'll have a Q progress bar that will be a kind of an indicator as to how far we've gone into logging in. Useful if the user has a really slow internet connection, but mostly useless otherwise. Remember, this is just a proof of concept application. Finally, we'll have a button at the bottom with the text of login. I know what you're thinking. This looks more like a web page than an actual desktop application. But with the CSS being so web-centric, and with me honestly lacking some great ideas at the moment, this application will still allow me to demonstrate the CSS capabilities, enormous CSS capabilities that the Qt ships with. And lately, lots of applications do look like packaged web pages, and sometimes they even are that. But with virtually unlimited design choices you have with Qt and CSS and other design aspects of Qt, you can make your applications look like anything you want it to look like. For example, did you know that Viber desktop client is written in Qt? And I believe Spotify desktop client is also written in Qt. And those two definitely don't look like they're standard looking applications. Rather, they stand out of the crowd. Alright, enough talking. So let's actually start working on our application.